What the hell have I done to myself? They left me home alone for too long. I started designing new kits. Remember when there were only 8? Yeah, me too. Let's jump into them. So yeah guys, it's cold. I've got my insulated shirts on, I've grown in my winter coat, and we're here in November. It's Black Friday, and it's actually this morning when I'm filming this. Never mind waiting until the last minute, right? Of course, I'm gonna run you through some of the kits here. We're also gonna run through some of my best suggestions as gifts that you guys can give or tell your significant others to get for you. If you're a metalworker, if you have a metalworker in your family, stay tuned. All these kits are my product at weldityourselfkits.com. We've got a great assortment of things here, if I do say so myself, that will help the beginner learn how to weld better, help somebody who's been at it for a while make a cool project. And I always think that it's easiest to stay focused and stay tuned to working on something and improving yourself if you're making something cool and having fun at the same time. And yeah, I was not joking in the thumbnail when I said we're gonna do the best sale ever. Stay tuned, you get your discount code. If you're here within the first 2 hours of this video going up, that code is gonna give you 20% off as a thank you from me to you for being on that notification crew, being on our newsletter, following on Instagram, all of that. Thank you. It's a lot of kits. The whole idea with these kits is we're gonna send you out some flat packed parts, kind of like IKEA, but for metalworking. And you get to build something cool out of it. Flat packing it out means I can send them to you anywhere in the country flat rate, so it's free shipping. So of course we're gonna start with the granddaddy of all the kits, our rocket stove. This is actually the first prototype, and we're adding something to it this year. We've got a little grill topper. Just sits right on the top. So if you have a rocket stove, you can add this, get this as an extra, use it as it is, put your own grate on it, or there are these stainless steel grilling thingies that you can get on Amazon. Yeah. It opens up so you can do whatever you need to. The handle folds away so you can take it with you traveling. I like this and decided to design something around this style of grilling adapter. This rocket stove is 14 gauge and it comes to you as 4 flat sheets. Ships in an envelope, real cheap shipping that way, just like all the other kits. I'm just gonna quickly jump through all the kits that have been around for a while. If you guys have been following, you've seen them. There's gonna be a card here to last year's video so you can get a more in-depth view of these. These are our square chimenea kits. We have the teeny, it's a little bit over, or a little bit under 2 feet tall, and the medium, which is almost 4 feet tall. We are also going to be offering the 7 foot tall big Mondo version that inspired all of this. It comes to you as a bunch of plates that are sliced this way down that 7 foot tall shape, and you're going to weld them together. It's a lot of welding. It's not a super cheap kit, but people were asking for it, so I decided to put it together. The medium unit and the tall one both have a burn chamber up here and then a wood storage area at the bottom. The little guys just got the burn chamber. You can put a grate on the top, cook on it, do whatever you want to do. And these are both sized to fit on a 12-inch by 12-inch patio paver. The big one is just shy of 2 feet on the base, so 4 pavers. And yeah. Don't light a fire in your deck. I think they're a fun way to get a bunch of welding practice in on something relatively heavy, but easy to put together. I mean, these are squares, so it's not gonna be too difficult for you. Now, the whole idea of these kits is to practice. The big thing that started that out for us is our practice cubes. These guys come as a flat sheet. You bend them up into these 2 halves, weld these 3 inside corners, put it together, weld the whole thing out. This guy's just a little bit over 2.5 inches on the side, yet it has 4 feet of welding in it. We do it this way as opposed to 2 U-shaped pieces because when you weld in here, this joint is going to want to warp closed. You don't want that, and you get a little bit more welding doing it that way than this way. Now you'll notice these guys are aluminum. We are adding the cubes in aluminum. 080, you get a dozen of them. or a variety pack. The variety pack is going to be 6 different thicknesses and you get 2 cubes of each. The sizes there are going to be on the screen so you guys can see what your options there are in aluminum. We're also going to be offering the same thing in stainless, a variety pack, bunch of different thicknesses, dozen cubes all together. With stainless though, I do suggest you just fatigue these apart, grind all those edges. You want to get everything real nice and clean, especially if you're going to take it all together. So as we're jumping through these, the one thing that y'all could do that would help me out so much without buying a kit, without supporting on Patreon, any of that, is just hit the like button and share this video out. It is amazing what the community can do to get the word out about something more than I could ever do myself. And you know, our shops reap the rewards of it. Throughout this whole 2020 craziness, Tommy's never missed a paycheck. Mine have been a little shorter, but they're still all right. And you know, it's because of the support of people like you that we've been able to keep the doors open, keep the lights on, and you know, just keep on keeping on. So I appreciate it. To build off of the cubes, we also have the new D20. This is an icosahedron, or a sphere-like shape made from triangles, 20 of them. This guy is fun to put together. It all bends up. You get a plate like this. This is actually 2 of them. Fatigue that apart, you get this guy, and you'll just go through there bending all these in on both sides, working your way around, and then you'll start working this up into an icosahedron shape and start welding. If you overbend, you can just kind of tap on it, open the thing back up again, but you'll see, especially in aluminum, it's pretty easy to get this thing real close real fast. The D20 is going to be available in 080 aluminum and 14 gauge steel. And for those of you that like a challenge, we have this guy. I think technically it's a prolate obloid spheroid or something like that, but it's an egg. You're going to get 3 of these plates like this. It's 4 of the 12 profiles that make up the whole outside of this. Same sort of deal. You bend them up, get them into shape, and then you know, have at your welding. It's kind of cool, I don't know, make a dragon egg or something out of it. It's a lot of good practice. I think this is a lot of fun. I'm gonna have some fun practicing with this. Or really what I use these for is when I've got somebody new in the shop and they want to practice on something before working on a real kit or whatever project they're here to work on. Cool. Yeah, these are perfect for that. Also returning from last year are our wall-mounted battery racks. This one's for DeWalt. You can see it holds 4 batteries. It's just a simple shape. You get these in a 2-pack, break them apart, bend this up to whatever angle you want, and then mount it to the wall. They tessellate correctly, so you can put as many as you want in a row, have your batteries all nicely stored, and they'll hold any of the DeWalt 20 volts. This is the DeWalt option. We're also coming out with them for Makita, Milwaukee, Rigid, and Ryobi. So be sure to check those out down on the website. You'll see all the different options there. Following along with the idea of wall-mounted storage, I wanted to be able to have the commonly used tubes of caulk available near my workstation however I wanted them. This guy we're going to call the caulk sleeve. It's a simple rack, mounts to the wall, and holds 5 tubes of caulk. Again, you can get a bunch of these, organize them however you want to. The cool thing about this, if I do say so myself, is it cuts out of a single piece of 14 gauge steel. Everything's in here to put that together. Goes together pretty quick. You can put it together left or right, so wherever you want to mount it, however you want to mount it, you can go for it. Then, along the same vein, I want to have the commonly used spray paints close at hand. We mark all our steel when it comes in with colors to say what gauge it is so I can see real quick what I'm picking up. And having spray paint cans of those colors around wherever we unload steel, super useful. This guy, again, single sheet. You get this, bend the whole thing up into place, holds 3 cans of spray paint. Again, they tessellate so you can stack them up, have a whole bunch, do whatever you want. You can pick the angle that this goes at, and there's little tabs on the bottom that retain the can so it doesn't want to slip out if you have it at a real parallel angle to your wall. And wrapping up our storage options, we have this guy. It's a 2 shovel shelf holder, rack, whatever you want to call it. You get that piece, break the two sides apart, bend them into place. Again, you can bend left or right, do whatever you want. Mount these to the wall and hold some tools there, you know, on the side of the garage or something like that. Same thing, I saw a need for something I needed. Figured some other people might too, so they're available. And again, free shipping anywhere in the country. Lastly, we have a bottle hook. This guy is going to sit on the top of your welding cylinder, and the 4 hooks let you hang your helmet, jacket, some tools, whatever you want to on them. They come flat, so you can adjust the angle of the hooks to suit your bottle. Those should be a standardized thing, but in my experimentation, just with the 8 bottles I have, they're not the same. So I wanted to make these adjustable. The hooks just slot into the little collar, so you don't even have to weld them into place. Once you put it on the bottle, it'll hold them in place, but put a tack on there and then it's really held in place. Just like last year, we do still have our F-bombs available. I think these are a fun little gift to give away. They're a bottle opener, you know, they're cute. But what we're adding this year, because, you know, I think it speaks for itself, is our middle finger, Christmas tree, Hanukkah bush, Kwanzaa shrub, I don't, whatever, ornament. It's, you know what it looks like. Everybody I've given one of these to has had a pretty good laugh about it. I think they're fun. You can purchase these, or when you go to checkout at weldityourselfkits.com, you'll see a little box that asks you where you found us, any ideas for kits you have. Put some info in there, just say hi, whatever. You're gonna get a little freebie gift with your order if you're ordering $100 or more, or multiples of anything. You're gonna get the 2020 ornament unless you ask for an F-bomb. So, enjoy. So as far as the rest of the, let's say legacy kits are concerned, we've got our hexagonal fire pit over here. It's a hexagon, pretty easy to put together as far as the fabrication side of it, but there's a lot of welding. This little guy is just a scaled down version of the big one. Little guy's got about 30 feet of welding if you weld both sides of every joint. Big guy's nearly double that. We also have the dodecahedron Globe Firepit. This guy's one of my favorites, super cool. You know, it's the one that I consider kind of an art piece. And the Globe is not just available in that size. That's our 23-inch model. For example, this is the plate that makes up the North Pole in the 23-inch. We also offer it in a 36-inch, and that's that same plate scaled up. These are big. We have to ship them out in a couple boxes to you. Costs a little bit more because of that. I hope you guys understand. That's just the way it is. And we have the old but trusty hexagonal barrel chimenea. This guy is, you know, it's big, comes with a door. We're no longer including the hinges or latch. You get to choose what you want locally that way. Order them on Amazon. I'll have some links. We just had too many people complaining about what we were including. And if you want to, we will cut some text into the chimney here. And we do have 2 different options for the top of that. It's all on the website. Man. Yeah. That's all the old, no, it's not all the old ones. So, we have the roses. The roses were relatively popular with y'all. I appreciate that, thank you. I think they make a really cool gift. You know, you get a single flat cutout sheet with all the parts you need. You just have to provide your own stems. They're 3/16 of an inch. And you put this together. The whole thing can be done with a simple MAP gas torch. I was not supposed to do that. Oh, I broke it. All right, well. It can be done. Those torches, I hope this isn't flammable. Those torches run like 40, 50 bucks. I suggest MAP gas, or if you have a forge or oxyacetylene, the flowers go so much faster with that. But a MAP gas torch, I did everything that you're gonna see with a MAP gas torch because I wanted to prove that it can be done this way. It's nice. This guy got a little acid dip and then a clear coat on it, and it makes for a pretty cool little patina there. Of course, this all started out as a gift for my wife. I made it for her, and then she's gonna tell me roses are my favorite flower. So what is your favorite flower? She couldn't make her mind up, so we started going through all the things, and before I knew it, we have a dozen new flowers. So she decided that fuchsias are her favorite. This is what one fuchsia kit makes. It's 2 flowers. I'll actually show you. This is the cutout that you're gonna get with that fuchsia set. It's everything you need. You put it together, just tack weld the parts to your stem, bend them up with a MAP gas torch. We have a full instructional video that you'll get a link to with any of the purchase of any of these kits. Full video instructions, how to do it. I think they're pretty easy to follow along with. You can pause, you can open it on your phone, all of that. To me, video is the best way to learn on that stuff, so that's what I do. The fuchsia kit. I really like the way these turned out. They're pretty cool. I'm gonna do like a dozen of these, put them in a bowl or something, because they normally grow hanging over like that, I guess. My Google searches have been weird lately. In addition, we have a daffodil. The daffodil was fun to figure out. This guy was challenging, but finally got it right. There you go. This is an orchid. This, again, everything that I'm showing you, one kit makes what you're seeing. So if you order a 3-pack, you get 3 of these. The orchid is real cool. All of these ones that have this purpley patina to them were ones that I let get a little bit of rust on them because I think this looks nice. So if you don't let them get rusty. When you heat them up, the rust turns purple. The orchid. We have a hibiscus. I'm trying to remember all of these. Yeah, hibiscus, those are cool. Of course, you can always bend the stem up however you want. I just have straight stems on most of them. The most difficult of them, as far as putting it all together, you really need some heat on this, is the calla lily. These guys are thin, you gotta roll the parts up into place. I think they look cool when everything's said and done though. One that was a lot of fun to design is the lotus. The lotus is just a unique shape. I really like the way it looks. Got all the little spiky stamen things in the middle, and it comes with a, I don't know, a little circle that goes in there. I don't know what those are called, but you can put it together that way if you want. Similar to the lotus, we have the poppy. The poppy is a real cool one. Again, one that was very interesting to get the design on right. I really like the way these turned out. This is the one I'm the most proud of all of them. It's the hydrangea. My wife was asking for this. I think we're giving it as a gift to somebody. I've got to make a couple more. You would not believe it, but this comes out of a single sheet of 20 gauge steel that ships to you in a flat rate envelope. Let me grab one. That's what it looks like. These take quite a while to cut out. I think they're cool though. So yeah, hydrangeas. Fun to put together. Again, we've got the full instructional video so you can see how everything's done. I'm not gonna clog this video up with a whole bunch of footage over the screen. You guys know what you're seeing if you've seen on the rows gets put together. We've got a daisy. A pack of daisies is actually 2 to a pack. So all of these flowers are gonna be available in a 3-pack and a pack of a dozen. If you order a dozen, you get 1 extra, so 13. Except for the daisies and the lily of the Inca, or Alastomeria. Both of these make 2 flowers per sheet. So the 3-pack's actually a 4-pack. The lily of the Inca I really like. Kind of need to bend that stem over though. We've got spider mums. That was a nightmare to get right, getting that to all fit on a sheet. It's quite a bit of petals, but again, I like it. This one was my wife's friend, likes spider mums, so now I gotta design spider mums. And lastly in this batch, we have the plumeria, or it's also called the frangipani. I think it looks cool, so we made one. There you go. Again, these all come as a single flat sheet. There's the hydrangea. That's what your lotus would look like. There's that little circle thing I was talking about. Spider mums, the fuchsias, and to top it all off, if you want to make a bouquet or something, you have 2 different greenery options. These are ferns, some leaf things, and some little grasses. I went and asked a florist what they thought was the most important. This is what they said. And more leaf things and some little grass. Now the thing that I'm really excited about with the flowers is we are going to be doing a bouquet bundle. You're going to get 2 of every flower, 2 of the greenery, each type, and a little vase. We haven't finalized what that vase needs to look like to make the shipping make sense, but it will be up by like end of day Friday. The bouquet bundle is also going to come with 24 stems. None of the other kits include the stems because I can't send you anything longer than about 11 inches, and that's too short of a stem in my opinion. But the bouquet bundle is going to ship in a larger box, so we can put 15-inch stems in there. That's exactly what I think is the right length. And you get everything, all of it, way better price than if you tried to build it out yourself. We haven't figured out exactly what the price is yet, but we will by the time the video is up. Another option with the flowers is any of them. We sell a bulk pack of 75 of the blanks, so you can make these, sell them at craft fairs or something like that. I've got a kid in New Jersey, I think he is, who has bought these 75 packs of the roses twice now and must be making a killing. We sell these for 60 bucks a pop, and we sold all the ones we made last year except for this one that I insisted on keeping because I like the finish. Valentine's Day is only, what, 3 months away, and people are going to be wanting good gifts, so that's another option you have. So all of the flower kits ship to you directly off the table. They have a little bit of dross on the back of them. As you heat the pieces up and bend them, pretty much all of that's going to pop right off. If you're worried about it, you can soak these in vinegar overnight, 24 hours, 36, if it's cold out is even better, or 5 minutes in muriatic acid. Muriatic acid's kind of nasty though. See all the stains on this shirt? The fumes from the acid did that. So, you know, wear your goggles, wear your gloves, wear long sleeves, have your hair back, put a condom on, be protected. So rounding out the artistic options we have what we're calling Belle. It's a female figure made from, I believe it's 54 layers of 16 gauge steel. These are plasma cut, and they come with a little number attached to them so that you can put them together simply. It comes with a base. You can put some strapping around the bottom if you want to stand it up. This was something that's been kicking around in my head for a while, that I thought that we could do this in a way that would look good, and then I got to churning on it and realized that it's the right shape, it's the right weight, it's all of that it can be a kit. The only thing you need to bring to it is some 1/2-inch square bar, solid or tube, either one works. That's what runs down the back, the spine if you will, and holds everything together. This one I'm proud of. I think this is pretty cool, and I hope some of you guys will really like it. We've also sold one of these for $1,000, so I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen for you, but you might be able to make a little money at it if you want to as well. So before we jump into the multitude of fire pits and other fire-containing apparati that there are, I want to go through a couple little shop things that you can have. One, I need to oil that, this was sitting outside, is a stool. It will bolt to a wooden workbench, but it's really designed to weld to a steel leg. Would you believe it? These 3 little plates right here make that whole thing. I think it's cool. The seat's about 7.5 inches wide, and you know, I like it like this, but if you don't, you can get seat blanks all over the place on Amazon, all of that, and you know, just screw something into there for more cushioning. What you don't get with the stool is whatever you need for this hinge right here. We include the little back plate, and we include the entire body of the stool. The whole thing is tab and slot, just goes together real easy. I didn't want to include this hinge because it messes up the shipping, and if you're gonna weld this to a work table anyway, you wouldn't want the same hinge that I'm using here for this being bolted into this wooden work table. Really all you need are a couple pieces of pipe and a piece of round bar that fits through them. Threaded rod works too. This is great. I weigh about 220 and you know, holds me just fine. So there you go. Big boys. I'd say it probably handles 350. Don't hold me to that. If you break it and you weigh 250 or less, I'll send you a new one. So last, let me make sure. Yeah, last of like the for fun shop things is the beefiest can crusher you've ever seen in your life. This thing will crush a Miller High Life, the big one, 32 ounce. It'll crush a Foster's. It'll crush, I haven't found a can I can't crush with it yet. What we've done is effectively made linear rails out of a weld it yourself kit. I'm pretty proud of this one. This was just something that was bouncing around in my head for a while until I had to make it a reality. Simple kit, same thing, comes to you as a couple flat plates. We do include the bar that you need for this one because I don't want you trying to find something in this short of length with those sort of tolerances. So there you go, mounts to a wall, even has a bottle opener on the bottom if you're not drinking out of aluminum today. This is fun. I left this one sitting outside for a while, let it get rusty just to see if we lose the tolerances. Still works just fine. So yeah. I like this guy. So I know it seems crazy with me coming up here and dropping 40 new kits on you guys all at the same time. If you wanted a little bit of a heads up on these, you had a couple options. The first is just follow along on Instagram. I'm over there at 42 Fabricate and I'm much more active there. You know, it doesn't take the big editing time like a video does, and I can chat back and forth with people. It's a great way to communicate. And or join over on Patreon. The patrons get not only the best discount possible, better than anything that I'm offering here today, but on top of that, whenever I have a product that I find interesting but need other people's opinion on, the patrons are who I go to beta test them. The patrons have had the flowers for a while. The patrons got a chance to get a can crusher 4 or 5 months ago was when I came up with this and finalized that design. So yeah. Check them over there on Patreon. For the patrons, I appreciate y'all's support. I know it's been weird. I needed a break from videos for a while, so that's what it is. So originally I was gonna launch a couple of these kits back 4 or 5 months ago, and that just got put off with everything that's been going on. So we did make a real fun intro though that involved me shotgunning a half dozen White Claws in less than 5 minutes. Part of that is this catapult. Well, those are old now, so that's broken. Part of it is this catapult. It was a fun little toy to make, but it was just a demonstration. This is 3X. The real one is right about this size. Still got a little fine tuning to do. I'm waiting on the springs that I ordered for launching it, and nothing's showing up on time these days. So yeah, these guys will come in a 2-pack. It's a little catapult. It's gonna be, you know, my thought is it's something you can do with your kids, and you know, they don't shoot very hard, they don't shoot very far. It's for launching ping pong balls or whatever. But if you get a 5 or 6 year old out in the shop and take some pieces of metal, put them together into a thing they can play with, I think that's cool. I grew up having that sort of opportunity and it worked great for me. I don't know where the idea for these ones came to me, but this is what I'm affectionately calling a chickenic table. We originally came out with this small guy, you know, bantams or something like that, even quail would be able to eat off this thing. The whole idea is you put some food up there, they jump up on there, they peck at it, it's cute, your wife will like it, have fun with it. After testing this little guy out, you know, sending some beta units out to patrons, people on Instagram, all of that, decided that this guy's too small for everybody. Some people are really gonna like it. So we did make kind of a double-sized unit. This is sized for, you know, big layers, barred rocks, whatever chickens you have. And, you know, same thing. It's cute. People get a laugh out of it, have some fun with it. Makes a great gift. If, you know, you're like me and you partnered up with somebody who did not have a history of working with their hands, any project like this that gets them out in the shop is fun for you guys to do together. That's how I got my wife into a bunch of this sort of stuff, just having projects that she wanted to be a part of. So, chickenic table. Can't believe I almost forgot this one. This is our coronavirus walking target. If you're a shooter, you probably know what these are. Set them up like that, you hit it, it steps over, presents you with a new target, you hit it, it steps over, you can just chunk one of these out in the field and then have target practice. It comes to you as a single plate like this. You cut this one little part out, the 2 slots interlocked, put some weld on it, and you're good to go. This is Speaking of things that need shooting. Ah! Get out of here! Crows are out there trying to fight a seagull. Thought I moved to Oklahoma to not have to deal with these sky rats, but whatever. Back to the walking target. You shoot these, they walk around. This is 3/16 mild steel. All right, I'm not gonna buy a couple sheets of AR-500 to cut out a couple joke targets as much as I'd love to. It's just not practical, and these would be way too expensive anyway. And plasma cutting is not even the best way to cut AR-500. And I'm ranting about it. So we've got these, you know, plink on them, 22. You know, I've shot 3/16 mild with 9mm, no problem. You do you, however you want to do it. It's a fun little kit, good little gag gift for Christmas. You know, whatever. They're gonna be cheap. There was something else I was supposed to do right now. And I've gotten some emails from people asking me when we're gonna have our boxes of scrap back in stock. Well, they're back in stock. Get your orders in. When they're gone, they're gone. What we did with this was one of my local metal yards had a fire recently-ish, and you know, their fire system went off. A whole bunch of metal in their custom cut area got wet, got a little bit of flash rust on it, and you know, they can't sell it to the customer anymore. So I went in and did a buy of the whole area, which is going to mean that I don't have to change the pricing on these, even though the post office has put my rates up. We'll have, you know, a variety of different profiles of steel. I know I've got some 3/4 solid bar in there. I've got a couple different round bars. We've got a whole bunch of profiles. And we do have the boxes of scrap with the plasma drops back in stock as well. We've got, you know, a lot of like little rectangles and triangles and stuff that have come off the table. We just did a map project, so I have a bunch of cutouts of the different states. Those will all go in there. Some letters, a little bit of everything. So there you guys go. If you want it, it's a great way to practice. You get a whole bunch of different materials. I've had people tell me they want them just so they have the different materials on hand. Basically, they're building a little scrap pile, and that's not a bad idea, really, at the end of the day, to have a bunch of different profiles available. So check them out. Thank you. So let's jump into some of the fire pits that are available. In the past, we've had the square chimeneas and the hexagonal pits, the hexagonal barrel chimenea. I wanted to break away from the 4 and 6 sided, so we have this guy. It's just about the same size as the large hexagonal fire pit. This is a 10-sided decagon? Yeah. Comes to you, same thing, flat rate box, all the parts. This is just tacked together. This is how I like to put the kits together when I'm just doing them to make sure that everything is the way it is. You will not believe how many times I have to build these things to get everything dialed in perfectly for y'all. All my friends have fire pits. I give them away all the time. And they steal my dragon eggs too. But anyway. So the 10-sided pit, it's just shy of 3 feet wide here. Bunch of plates. This is 10 gauge. I like the way this one turns out. You just bend the parts up, and it comes with a little angle gauge to show you what angle to bend these outside 10 pieces to, and then the inside's just all flat, tack it together. Yeah, good fire pit. If you don't fully weld out everything on the bottom, it will drain water. That's one way to do it. You can punch some holes in it. I'm not going to do that because if I do it for you, the next guy is not going to like having holes in the bottom of his pit. So you guys are big boys. You got drills. You can take care of it. That's the 10-sided pit. We've got 4-sided, 6-sided, 10-sided. Well, we need some 8-sided pieces. These are 2 octagonal kits. This first one is one that I think is really good. I'm going to be selling it cheaper because of that. It's a great practice piece. It's a little fireball. See, octagon. All the angles are easy. It's all 45s. The legs are on the bottom. Same thing. 45s. Lots of welding here. I think this thing's like 35 feet of welding. It's 12 gauge. It's stout as hell. You don't want to light a fire in it. You could use it to plant in, do whatever. It's just a good practice piece. And then along the same vein, we have the octagonal barrel chimenea. So as you go to put it together, you get this bottom octagon, this ring around, goes up. There's an angle gauge that comes with the thing to show you what angle everything goes at. And then the legs are these little spiky bits. The angle that you bend the leg to will determine the angle that it makes with the ground and how high the bottom is off the ground. I just bent these to a 90 degree, and that's what you end up with here, about 2.5 inches or so below the pit. The parts that make up this bottom ring have a little lip on them. You just bend those up. You can weld it all out. The top shroud is exactly the same. It's literally just a mirror image of that part. And then you have this big honking chimney up here that will draft a lot. These are just rectangles. And you actually get an extra one of these rectangles here with the kit, so you can practice on it, do whatever you want to it, fling it at your sister, I don't know. And then lastly, you're gonna get 7 of these stand-up things. The way I think this looks best is you leave 1 or really even 2 of these openings open, and that's where you're gonna feed through. The rest of these openings, you can leave them open. You can put some screen in there. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Expanded metal. I want to see how you guys customize it. Send me a picture. Let me see what you come up with. This guy, this is cool. This is also going to be in 12 gauge. I've got people asking me questions from time to time because we sell fire pits all the way down to 14 gauge. The big hexagonal pit that you've seen over there is 14 gauge. I have had many a fire in it. It's been sitting outside for the better part of 2 years now, and you know, it's got surface, I never painted it, it's got surface rust on it, but it's fine. I still light a fire in it, it still holds water, so don't stress on the thickness of the steel here. We got to get these to a weight where I can ship them to you flat rate. And they just cost more if this was 3/16 or something, and it just doesn't need to be. So this guy is back to a hexagon. Same thing, 12 gauge again. I don't know what to call this. It looks like a bassinet to me, and that's a terrible name for a fire pit. So, you know, call it the Pac-Man or something, but then I'm gonna get sued. We're told not to, so let's not play that game. I don't know. You tell me what you think this should be called, and we'll figure something out. But same idea. Fire in the center. You got this solid base for it here. Chimney drafts up. You guys can dress it up if you want to, but I think this is something that would look real good on the side of a deck or next to a hot tub or, you know, wherever. A couple of them around the pool. I'd love if you bought a couple. It's a cool kit to me. I like the way this one turned out, and I'm happy with it. So there you go. Bassinet, name still to be determined. I don't know. Maybe we'll just call it the Om Nom Nom. Had to back the camera up a little bit for this guy. This is, we went back and forth on Instagram about what we should call this thing, and we've decided it's the Pit Goda. It's a square, I like the way it looks. One of the cool things about it is these 4 vertical uprights right here are adjustable when you're building it. I have them brought all the way in right here, but if you wanted to have more space in the bottom of the bowl, you can move these out. There's slots for them to be able to slide out, and that will let you design, customize this to however you want it to be. I like it, so there you go. Pit Goda, big, again, fire, chimney, drafting. It's got the shroud to try and catch some more of the smoke and get a good draft going. I like this one. This was fun. Interesting to design. And then working off of the same idea as the dodecahedron globe and the D20 dice, I decided that, you know, we're gonna come up with a D20 globe, and that's what I've done here. This is a bit more work to put together. You know, there's 20 panels instead of 12 on the dodecahedron, and 5 of them meet up at each corner instead of 3 like on the dodecahedron. So it does take some more time. It's something that's great with 2 people, but you can struggle through it yourself. And when you order one of these, you are going to get a free D20 so that you can put this together and have that as a reference for how this goes together. Also, with this guy and with the dodecahedron globe, the instructions include a paper template that you can cut it. It's got the continents drawn on it. You can cut it out, tape it together, do whatever you need to do. so that you have a reference there. That's about as much as I can do for you on instructions as far as where continents go. They've been in the same place for a long time, and yeah, Google Earth, I guess. That's the only other option I got for you there. But as difficult as this looks, it's really not that bad. I put this together in about 20 minutes. I can do a dodecahedron globe tacked up in about 10. Granted, I've done a bunch of them, but they look more complicated than they actually are. And this demo you see here is 14 gauge. I needed to get an idea of what the weight was gonna be so I could know what we could do it in. The final is gonna be 10 gauge. So it's a lot sturdier than this. You know, these parts aren't gonna flex around like they do here, and you're not gonna have trouble with, you know, parts bending and corners not lining up like I did here. 10 gauge, much better. I was hoping we could get it to there, and it just makes weight, so we're good. So a couple months back, Wesley Treat, who's another sign guy on YouTube you should be following along with, came up with this quirky little idea for a weenie grill that would cook one hot dog. Had a bunch of names for it. We decided on Ferter Burner. I got in touch with him and said, dude, we should definitely make this into a kit. It looks like a lot of fun. He came up with the design. We went back and forth. I cut 54 prototypes. It was a lot. And yeah, we've come up with a final. This is a weld up version. Wesley's also selling he's calling it the Deluxe, and it comes with like handles and all the other fun stuff you could want. You get this, it comes with these two plates. They're 10 gauge, so nice and stout. You know, we wanted it to have some weight since it's so small. And you weld that up, then you have your grill top. It says Ferter Burner in it. It's pretty cool. Don't weld this on. You know, you put some fuel in there, put your grill top on the top of it, and then get to cooking. I also added to the weld up kit a lifting fork. It's a little tool that will let you get in here, grab the side of the Ferter Burner grill top, and remove it while it's hot to add fuel or do whatever, put it back on, and then you can take the fork back off. Or you can just leave it sitting on there. It kind of notches into place. This is a fun one, makes a cool little gift, even if, you know, the person that's receiving it is not working in the shop with you to build it. So that's a fun one. Ferter Burner. Wesley Treat's got the deluxe version over on his site. If you don't want to have to build one, that one just slots together. It's like a knockdown, and it comes with some extra accoutrement, but it's obviously a little higher price. Is this the last one? It is. Okay. Now the last one of the kits that we have is a complete knockdown kit. This is a design that I'm working with a guy by the name of Ped Baker over in the UK. It's his design, and I'm his US manufacturer. When he gets orders from here, he'll customize them for you with, you know, like your own logo and stuff on the side here. If you want to do that, I'll have a link down below to his website. You can go to him. All custom orders are going to go through him. He will get in touch with me. I will ship it out. He'll pay me. You don't have to deal with any of that. But if you just want the standard one with this little flame in here, you've got it. The 3 like grill racks on here have little notches in them that you can, you know, stick a skewer, hot dogs, marshmallows, whatever into. And then once those are out, the 4 panels that make up the outside and the bottom literally just pull apart. They're a little sticky so that the thing doesn't have any wobble to it when it's actually put together. There you go, there's your 4 panels. You can take them with you wherever you want to go camping. Thing's not that heavy, it's like 20 something pounds. It's 10 gauge. Get a good fire going in it, don't have to worry about it warping around on you with that fire in there. It's got little breather holes. It's a well-designed kit. I was a fan of this, and rather than trying to design something myself, I'm happy to license somebody else's good idea from them. So this is now available over on the website, and same thing, you know, free shipping anywhere in the country. So a couple of y'all have asked me about merch, if I have shirts, any of that. It's never really been my thing, but I did decide that we're gonna do a little bit of it. You know, honored that there's people out there wanting to rep my brand, you know, be out there enjoying the channel and being loud and proud that they do. So we have 2 things. The first is something that I've carried for a long time. and then decided to see if I could find out there on the market, and I found ones that can be customized. This is just a simple flash drive. Goes in your wallet. This is what I really like about these. Y'all are weird, don't look at my address. You know, it just slides into a credit card slot in your wallet. So it's really good to have around, have with you. I carry one of these around all the time. And this thing's super thin. It is 32 gigs because I'm not coming out with something that's a 2 gig piece of crap, all right? I want you to be able to actually carry something with you. I carry one of these around. It has the installers for all of the software that I use day to day. So if I'm somewhere and need to like make a design, whatever, if you guys order one of these, you are going to get on it all of the plans that I have for sale currently, which is 2. So sorry, but there will be more and they will be added to it. If you've bought one in the past and I add new plans, let me know. I don't have a way to automate that, but let me know and I will send them to you or send you a discount code to get them for free. So cool thing to have. I really like these. 32 gig wallet, flash drive, good to have. The other thing that we are going to be doing is doing shirts. I am going to be selling to you guys exactly the same kind of shirts that we wear in the shop. I'm not going to sell some frou-frou Teespring stuff. These are 100% cotton, you know, pre-shrunk, all of that. I'm going to print them myself. I've got a video linked down in the description or the cards about how I do that. We are going to take orders from now until Christmas. They're not going to arrive before Christmas. These things take 2 weeks to make for the ink to dry and set. I like the ink I use because it doesn't wear off. I've been wearing the same shirts for 3 years. They look good as new as far as the ink is concerned. And we will ship those out early in the new year. You'll get them, you know, by the end of January, hopefully sooner than that. So I thank y'all for sticking through and watching the video result of the craziness that my mind does when you give me free time at home to design some stuff. So I hope you guys like some of these. I, you know, of course, would appreciate you picking one up if it's your thing. I think the flowers are an excellent gift for the special lady in your life. Something you can do with your kids too, which is always fun. I've received a lot of really cool pictures of like father-daughter making flowers for the mom for Mother's Day or whatever. That's awesome. I love seeing that sort of stuff. It's cool having my little part in something that somebody else does. You know, we sell finished products around here all the time, but I'm selling a kit, you get to finish it. I think it's cool. What we're gonna do for the discount is 15% off everything. This is just like last year. If you're here within the first 2 hours, you're getting 20% off with that code. The code is Black Friday. All one word, all caps, all of that, whatever. 15% off everything. Doesn't matter what you order, how you order it, the merch, the shirts, the kits, plans. Hell, I'll accept them on signed deposits if you want to order a sign from me. So there you go, Black Friday. 15% off, and it's going to be 15% off until December 10th. Why December 10th? Because from the 10th to the 19th, that discount's going to go down to 10%, so I'm not stressing on getting these shipped out to you. The 19th is the last day. I can guarantee your order will arrive by Christmas. After that, they're going to be shipped as they come in and are available. So while December 19th is the last day that the post office tells me that I can tell you that you will get your kit before Christmas if you get your order in by then, it's Corona year. You know, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything for Christmas. We normally go on vacation. It's not happening. So we're going to keep shipping these all the way through. You can get your order in whenever you want to, and we will get that out to you as soon as possible. We've cut inventory of a lot of these things, so we'll be able to turn them around quickly. The only thing that I will say is there is a very non-zero chance that we will sell out of some of the flowers. They take a long time to cut, and if one of them becomes real popular, I can't do anything for you if we can't make them as fast as we need to. So, sorry. Order what you want sooner rather than later and get the bigger discount because of that. So now that we've run through the kits, let's check out some of the tools that I recommend, the things I use here in the shop that make my life easier, some of the niche stuff that, you know, I wish I'd found out about a whole lot sooner. Rib nuts are definitely one of those. Don't forget to stick around to the end because I'm going to roll out with that clip of me getting schwasty with the cute little demo we made of all the new kits a couple months ago. Thank you. One of the most useful things to a metalworker is going to be an assortment of clamps and magnets if they're working in steel. I've got everything from the cheapest 1.5" Harbor Freight magnets up through these guys that are about 4 inches and even some 6 and 8s over there on the wall. They are super useful for holding things together, but they are not precision tools. If you want to go towards precision, you've got options like Strong Hands adjustable on-off magnet. MagSwitch also makes some similar products. This is obviously not a sponsored video by anybody. MagSwitch has also just come out with this new Adjusto magnet, and this thing is super useful, especially when you're working on angles that are not a standard 45, 30, 60, 90, etc. You can set this to any angle you want. The magnets turn on and off. You lock that down, and it's not moving. It will grab on 2 sides as well, so you can set inside-outside angles in 2 different planes at the same time. So while a magnet is great for laying things out to really lock stuff in place, you need clamps. We've got everything from basic Irwins, these go on sale all the time for like 2 for $25, to a much heavier option. This is from Strong Hand. It's like for pipe or weird shapes, it's got this adjustable foot as well as your standard swivel, and then you can tighten everything down with this little turn at the end, and it's got some grip to it. And we've got these adjustable corner clamps. These don't lock in place, they're just for holding things together. They're also from Strong Hand. You're gonna adjust these to hold 2 sheets together at any angle from, about an 85 all the way out to parallel to each other. Super useful when putting together kits. Lastly, in the magnet category, we've got outside corner clamps. These are also Strong Hand, and they go around the edge of something, so you can make a 90 on the outside if you can't get to the inside to clamp, or if you want to weld on the inside of something. Around the outside, they also have angles in 60, 30, and 45 for fitting up that way. Now, we can't get out of fixturing without me mentioning magnetic chucks. This guy's the one you've seen me been using for about 1.5 years in the shop now. It's a 6" by 12. You put metal on them, nothing happens. You turn this switch, and it's holding that piece very securely. Secure enough you can grind on it without it going flinging across the room. We've recently upgraded, oh, these are heavy, to the 10 by 20 inch model. The little guy runs sub $200. This big guy is over $400, but it's one of those things we use so much that it made sense for my shop. It might not for yours, but if it does, man, they're nice. When it comes to abrasives, you've got 1,000 options out there. Something that any metalworker is gonna need more of all the time is always cutoff wheels and flap discs. This is for cutting pieces, and this one's for cleaning them up. These come in a bunch of different grits, just like sandpaper. The most common for steel work you're gonna need are gonna be 60s and 40s. These are both from United Abrasives, who recently had me out to their factory to tour it while I was in the area, and they gave me some of these to bring back, so I thought I'd show them to you. In fact, they gave me a box with way more of these that I'm gonna need for this foreseeable future. So while this is not a sponsored video by United, I am going to include a cutoff wheel and flap disc with every one of the Weld It Yourself kits that ships while supplies last. Other than cutting and grinding, there's a couple other finishing things that most people are gonna come across. If the metalworker in your life is using any sort of CNC cutting process, they're gonna have dross. A great thing for getting rid of that is a cold chisel. I've got a video here in the cards about how we use that to remove dross. When you're using your abrasives, one of the most annoying things is switching discs on your grinder. If you're a hobbyist, you're not gonna need a whole bunch of different grinders, especially not cordless ones, but they're real nice to have. Picking up 1 or 2 extras is a great option. They always go on sale this time of the year, generally in 2 packs. We've got one with a cutoff wheel, one with a fiber disc, two with different grits of flap disc, and I like to keep one set up just with a wire cup because we do a lot of cutting on the plasma table. Additionally, a cordless or corded or pneumatic die grinder is a great thing to have around. We use this thing probably, what, Tommy? Once a month?
Yeah, once or twice a month.
But when you need it, it is the tool for the job. So you'll see I'm running real black and yellow up in here. That's not a sponsored thing. I've just had the tools for a while, so I'm kind of locked into that platform, and they work for me. Another thing you can get for your tools, if you're running cordless, is extra batteries. They're great to have, and even better if you can get them on sale. And I've got a video here in the cards with a review of this brand aftermarket batteries that have actually done pretty well for the DeWalt 20-volt platform. I've heard some mixed reviews for some of the other platforms, but my experience has been good with them. So if you like that metal worker in your life while they're doing all their grinding, fixturing, whatever, get them some PPE, personal protective equipment. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, is one of the most annoying things. I've got just a little bit of it, and now I am very careful about my hearing protection. We use IsoTunes Bluetooth hearing protection. These are super convenient because I can go from grinding to welding with them still in my ears. They don't get in the way of my helmet going up and down. And when we're not wanting something in our ears, or we're doing something especially loud, like using the cold cut saw, I will sometimes throw a set of over-the-ear protection over them, or just use these long term. These are the 3M WorkTune ones, so you can listen to the radio. They also make these in Bluetooth. IsoTunes are gonna run you around about $100 for the Pro version, which is what I use. And these are 50 or 60. Other than protecting your ears, you gotta watch out for your lookers. I love having a lot of pairs of eyeglasses around. We kind of treat these as disposable. I think most of them last 2 or 3 months in the shop. You've got these. I buy them in bulk packs. They're on Amazon. It's like $25 for 20 of them. One of the reasons people take their glasses off is to see better. So using good but cheap and disposable glasses so that you can get a new one when they start not doing their job, good idea. As the commenters love to tell me, I need to wear more gloves. I'm not even going to get into that in this video. The best thing to do with gloves are find the ones that are the most comfortable for you. Go actually try them on, because if they're annoying, you're not going to use them. Lastly, in the basic PPE is one a lot of people are going to skip over, and that is ways to wrap cords up. This is a simple cord holder for wrapping up an extension cord. We don't actually use these all that much anymore because I have changed over to having all of my extension cords drop down from the ceiling. The 25-foot drop down reel runs like $40. They're not expensive at all. They're super convenient, so we've put them everywhere. And speaking of PPE, while I was editing this video, Great Lakes Workwear let me know that they'd picked a winner for the work pants giveaway. It's Mike Barbieri from New York. There'll be a link down in the description if you want to enter for next week's giveaway. I've been running off the HTP ProPulse 220 MTS right now. It's a MIG-TIG stick machine. Basically covers everything I could need to do in my shop. It's going to cover everything you could need to do in your shop, unless you're working on really heavy material or trying to TIG weld some fancy metals. To find out a little bit more about the ProPulse 220, check the description out. There'll be a link down there to my review, as well as directly to the store for it. And another one to a video where we use the MiG 130. This is HTP's, I guess we'll call it entry-level MIG welder. It's $450 shipped right to your door. I think they're actually running some Black Friday deals right now too, especially on the 220. Runs on 110, so you don't need to have a fancy shop with any beefed up electrical wiring. In fact, we run it off a battery pack. So again, I'm not going to dive into gloves very much because the really important thing with them is that they fit comfortably for the task you're doing. I have been using these Black Stallion heavier MIG gloves they sent out a while back for quite a while, and I'm pretty happy with them. We're finally starting to wear them out, and I think I may be buying some new ones. They're kind of the perfect mix between heavy and you can still feel what you're working on. If you're fabricating, you know that dexterity is the most important thing, which is why a lot of the times you're gonna resort to a TIG glove or no glove, and then the commenters will yell at you. As far as helmets, my go-to is the Miller, what do they call this? Digital Infinity. I bought one of these a couple years ago. I liked it, and I bought another one when I started having helpers in the shop. So it's got real comfortable headgear, which is good for working long periods of time, and the consumables in the helmet, like replacement lenses, are pretty cheap, which is important to keep the helmet in kind of the best operating condition. So while my daily driver's normally this Miller, I also jump over to these HTP helmets every once in a while. They're a little bit lighter, so if I'm gonna be in a weird position or something like that, they can be more comfortable. These ones are also much cheaper. While the Miller's gonna run you $250 to $300, and in my opinion, if you're using it a lot, is worth it even at that price. HTP has got these starting at like $80. And while it's obviously an $80 helmet, you know, it's missing some things that fancier helmets are gonna have, like padded headgear and 1,000 adjustments in the headgear. It's really a good helmet. I've recommended these to a number of starters. When you go to Harbor Freight and spend 40 bucks on a helmet, you're really getting a $40 helmet. You go spend 80 bucks on a helmet, it's more like getting a $100 helmet. God, Tommy, your head is small, man. This one's actually Tommy's helmet because he wears glasses, and HTP sells lens inserts that will make your helmet adjust to what you actually need, so you're not trying to wear contacts or glasses under the helmet. God, I can't see anything. Wow, that gave me a headache in 2 seconds. When it comes to your welder itself, there's a couple nice accessories to have. We've got a MIG torch holder. Jimbo from Jimbo's Garage sells these. Also TIG, stick, grinder, plasma torch. Magnetic to the table, holds your torch, you can move that around anywhere you want. Nozzle dip. Any welder is gonna like having this. If they're MIG welding, just keep spatter from building up in your torch. On the same vein, CRC sells this Weld Clean 350. It's a water-based anti-spatter spray, so it doesn't have any of the fumes of some of the aerosol ones, and it does a pretty good job of keeping spatter from sticking either to your table or the part you're working on. Good to have around. They also sell it in big gallons. And CRC sells these Weld-Aid Lube-Matic pieces that go on your welder. They're a little felt pad, one that cleans your MIG wire and the other one that lubricates it. Just makes everything move more easily through your machine. At FabTech, they gave me a bunch of these, and I don't need that many, so I'm going to be throwing one in with all of the larger kits while supplies last, and you guys can have your MIG welder run a little smoother. So we've covered the common tools. Let's get into some of the weird ones that you're probably not going to use very often, but man, are they helpful if you have them when you need them. The first, DeWalt sells this DCB 1800. You put 4 20-volt batteries in here, and you can put the flex volts in too, and you get, and it's an inverter. It's just like a generator, but you're running off batteries. The thing will put some freaking power out. I've run a couple different 110-volt welders off of this thing, and you know, I was surprised the first time it works. I've actually got a video about it linked down below, and it's crazy, but it does work. It's also good for running like a table saw or miter saw off in the middle of nowhere, or some other corded tool when you don't have access to power. My wife and I even plugged our refrigerator into it when we moved so that all our food would stay cool in the truck. Next on the list is a tubing polisher. It's basically a belt sander, except it's spring-loaded on one side. So as it's running, you push into something that you want to polish the radius of, and you know, it conforms to it. There are some really nice versions of these made by some of the brands you've heard of. There are also some real cheap knockoff ones. This is one of those, and for how little I use it and the fact it was like 200 bucks, it was worth it to me. You got to make your own decision there. We don't use this enough to have the real fancy one or to have it make sense for our budget. Lastly, on the niche tools, we've got the riv nut tool. Rib nuts are basically a combination of a rivet and a threaded insert. You're going to take your tool. This is the most basic hand-operated ones. They make battery, electric, and pneumatic ones as well. You thread on a rib nut, insert it into a hole, squeeze, and then back the tool out. And what that gives you is a threaded insert in that hole. They're used real commonly in aeronautical applications, but what I use them for are adjustable feet on the bottom of furniture and for mounting signs to gates, fences, metal structures where we need it to be removable and we don't want to trust just running it in a self-tapper. What's next? All right, hit me. Yeah, we got some new Weld It Yourself kits. I want to again thank the folks over on Patreon who are helping out. Their support just makes doing what we do around here a little bit easier. Nobody's missed a paycheck through this whole thing, and they're partly to blame for that, to thank for that. So until next time, hit that subscribe button, stick around. If you like this, hit the like button, and the best thing that you can do to help me out is share this video with somebody else or buy a kit. Bye.